Our life looks like living in the country. We moved from the city and had made choices to be able to live more sustainably, living more off the land than we have done before, not so reliant on mainstream society, and going against the grain, I suppose you could say, a lot more than what we ever have done before. We live in the scenic rim, and our main reason behind this area really wasn't by choice. It was just what was available at the time that was within a 2-hour radius from where we originally were on the Gold Coast. So we feel really lucky because the places we looked at with any sort of acreage in our price range were at least 2-3 hours away. So this being about 45 minutes to an hour is pretty good. So we moved to 2 and a bit acres, which felt like heaps when we looked at the place. I remember, I don't know, instantly I was like, holy moly, it's very overgrown, but somehow compared to a lot of the shed houses we'd looked at, this was a home with 4 bedrooms and a heap of land and not as steep as what you think. We have tank water and we've got electricity is connected here, so we don't have solar, which is something we do want to do, but yeah, other than that, it's just the tank water that's really the main difference, and that we have land. We've got some sheds, which are everything's a little bit on the rundown side, but functions normal enough, and in time we'll get the renovations it deserves. But I already think since we've moved here, we've made huge changes in just the landscape alone. The driveway when we first moved in was like a mudslide. But yeah, we did choose to do some things originally when we first moved here, but yeah, it's certainly not as off-grid as we probably would want to be, but it's a good transition. We wanted some freedom, some space, and some land to be able to change the way we live, grow our own food, and learn more about living more from the land and self-reliant in the best way we could. Life before we moved here was very dull and busy, and we were living in Suburbia with houses right next door. I'd lived that way my whole life, so I didn't really know what living on any kind of land, not having neighbours next door, ever felt like. So it was a big change, and the best change we could have ever asked for. I could never go back. Every time I drive back, I get to the traffic and to the suburbs and think, oh my God, I can't believe I lived here for this long or that long, and I wouldn't change it for the world. Could never go back. The main problems we were trying to solve were financially, to be able to live without having to spend more money. Somehow it costs more to live in the city than it does to live out on land. We found ourselves in a position where we wouldn't be able to buy food each week, and we struggled. We were way behind in lots and lots of debt everywhere we looked, and it felt really hard. We were both working really, really hard and weren't really getting anywhere just because of debts we'd had prior. And the cost of living went up, and mortgage went up. Everything changed. Really, it felt really quickly, but maybe it happened slow. We didn't know. Everything's hard when you've got little kids. Yeah, we had thrown around the idea of moving to somewhere cheap at first. We wanted to have a tiny house, and we were willing to do anything to be able to not have any debt. And I don't know, it felt like we never thought we could get a loan, and we never thought we could do anything. And then, yeah, all of a sudden everything sort of changed quickly, and we were looking at houses and looking for places to live and land, and our whole perspective changed really quickly, and everything about living in the city felt yucky at the time. So we just wanted to get away. It's like we just wanted to run away to the country and never go back, and that's pretty much what we've done. Buddy is our latest addition. He's only about 7 months old now, and he's a brown border collie, and we love him. Yeah, he's a good boy. He's our big protector, our farm dog. Aren't you, sweetheart? You're a big, gorgeous sweetheart. Hey, darling. Hey. Best thing that's ever happened to us. He's such a sweetie and loved by everybody. The hardest adjustment for me moving out here was letting all of the overgrown and things that need to be done, the trees that need to be chopped down, then renovating that needs doing, just looking at it and realizing how much work is actually involved. Just building a fence. And if you can't build the fence in one day, you have to sort of go, okay, that's a really big job, but like everywhere you look, there's giant jobs. And so the biggest thing that I noticed was that it does take time, and I found myself going, okay, so it's going to take time, and I sort of settled with that a lot more, which I was never able to do before. I needed everything done immediately. So yeah, I've noticed that change within myself. A pleasant surprise was rainwater, of all things. I always knew that town water had all the disgusting things, and you needed to have a filter on it, which we had when we lived back there, but coming out here, I didn't realise the taste of rainwater is totally different to the taste of any town water that you can get. My life is very different from the Gold Coast because it just slows down out here. I don't know how or why, but being further away from takeaway shops and further away from anything really, you change the way that the urgency around the things you need to do. So if it's not 100% urgent, you kind of go, oh no, we won't make that trip today. And you just settle in with finding, which there always is a million things to do, but finding things to do at home and on the land. The best way that we started living off the land was Jamie's big drive to build a garden bed. And he was the one who actually built the garden beds and planted everything and had full responsibility of all of the vegetables and fruit that we were growing. So he was really our first food source provider out here, other than me locally buying the raw milk from the local dairy. And what else is there? There's the raw milk, and there's something else we get locally. Oh yeah, eggs from our chickens. So we have lots of fruit trees on our property that came with the property, which was really great. So there's a lot of trees that needed time, that they have had the time, and now they're bearing fruit. So we have what we're thinking is something between a mix between an orange and a mandarin. So that's going to be in season soon. And we have a chestnut tree, this beautiful tree here. We have white mulberries, black mulberries, lemons, limes, pomegranates, which we had beautiful pomegranates, probably like 6 of them we picked last week, and they're beautiful. We have mandarins. We have a black sapote, or the chocolate pudding fruit tree. We've got avocados. Some of the not so positive points of living out here is you don't have access to things you want as quickly as you want them. So if you run out of stuff and you really need it, is it worth 30-40 minute drive? Probably not. But it is frustrating sometimes in that respect. And also how quickly grass and trees grow. You don't realise you could do a whole bunch of clearing and all of a sudden it's growing back, and thinking, oh my gosh, I've got to do that again, and then you're kind of moving on to the next thing. It is really lovely to be out in the lush green trees and grass. It does take management and time and effort to be able to keep it maintained and keep it livable and keep the snakes away, and possibly too any friendships that we've made. It does make it a bit harder to commit to things last minute, but other than that, I don't know, it's been the best thing we've ever done. Oh, rain. Oh yeah. We always used so much water. We never thought about water being on town water. And now we're like, oh, don't have long showers. Oh, don't run the tap. Oh, water. We can't do any water activities outside with the kids because we're constantly thinking about the water, and we only have 2 tanks, and I want to tap into the water source under the ground, the volcanic water that's underneath that. I paid a water diviner to come out and find where water is, I don't know, like 60 metres under the ground, but that's really expensive. I would never, ever go back to the suburbs. I could never. If anything, I want more land and more space, and don't want to see any neighbours at all. At the moment we have a glimpse of some of our neighbours from a distance, but I want to be completely away. Even darker and more land and possibly more animals.